All right, y'all, what's up? All right, so I'm gonna get back into the story about my homie Mark Moriarty and how that whole situation went when he got murdered. All right, so we were to the point where the shooter, Terry Gould, goes from the mall to the police station. When he gets to the police station, he encounters a cop, a detective named Troy Dennison. All right? Now, I knew right away when he had Troy Dennison investigating him I knew he was going to tell on himself. I knew they were going to just hook, line, and sinker this dude. He was fucked. That detective's a sneaky bastard. I'll tell you another story about Troy Dennison and my run-in with him when I was like 17, okay? And what ended up happening out of that, because I got charged with second-degree assault and terroristic threats on a case that was really self-defense. Because I fucked around and thought that I could sit through this interrogation with this investigator, and I really didn't do shit wrong, in my opinion, and let every detail of it be told. I wasn't guilty, okay? But this Troy Dennison is a good investigator. I'll give him that much, okay? He's a manipulative motherfucker. So when he got his hands on Terry Gould, I knew dude was done. All right? So Terry Gould ends up getting convicted of first-degree premeditated murder, but he tried to cop a second-degree self-defense, saying that my homie Mark came inside of his house to put in work on him, and he was in fear of his life. Which, man, the right lawyer could have spun that shit, man. The right lawyer, but he didn't have the right lawyer. He got life in prison. So he went to prison when he was like 15 years old. He was convicted of first-degree premeditated murder, got life in prison, which is 25 years. He did 17 and a half years. He was released from prison the year that I went. I went to prison in 2014. He was, I think, released in either 2014 or 13. He was released from prison before I went. Ironically, right before I went. Somehow, and there's 10, 11 prisons in Minnesota, so to actually run, it's possible. You could easily run into somebody, but at the same time, you could easily not run into nobody. All right, so what happened with the situation with the funeral was real fucked up, because there was 3 people that got banned from the funeral. Okay? The killer, another punk running his mouth, acting like he called it, made the shot call out, which is total bullshit. This was a random act. Dude acted on his own. And then myself was banned from the funeral because I was the one that gave him the drugs, the weed. Okay? Now, so I already caught wind of this, so I didn't want to go to the funeral. And I knew it was going to go bad from going to the wake. When I went to the wake, all right, so I went to the wake. When I went to the wake, there was like fucking 8 cops just huddled up right in the middle of the room. And here's the kicker. Mark's stepdad was a DEA officer in that area. A little while before Mark was murdered, Gary Lawton is his name. Gary Lawton was Mark's stepdad. A little bit before he was killed, maybe within a year, Gary Lawton was caught with cocaine and arrested and charged. Okay? Arrested and charged. Back then, I was too dumb to put the pieces together. I just didn't get it. Okay, so now mind you, Mark has nothing to do with Gary Lawton. He's just his stepdad. Has nothing, so we think. Okay? But Gary Lawton was actually connected to the person that I was connected to. Way up. So when I walked in that wake, Gary Lawton was there with the rest of the cops. And them motherfuckers gave me a look, man, that I'll never forget. And I didn't really look at them very long, but I could just feel it. Okay? So I walked up to the casket. They're behind me, and I'm just feeling them. Oh, fuck. They're trying to put all the blame on me aside from the shooter. That's really what's happening. Everything but handcuffs, man, they're trying to just put me through it. Okay? So, you gotta remember, this is why I don't really like cops. Okay? And it started before this. Okay, so the crooked ass coke snorting cop who's facilitating the traffic up top is fucking sitting there trying to fucking stare me down. Not trying to, he's doing it. Okay? And I'm like, damn. So I walk up to the casket, my boy, you know, he's gone. He looks like, I don't know, death doesn't really look real. It looks like, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Bodies never look like they, I don't know, bro. You can just tell that when you die, you really go somewhere else because you're really something else because you can see it's not there. When you see somebody in a casket, you know they're not there. Whatever they were is not present. And you can just tell, man, what's up. So I got the fuck up out of the wake. You know, if the funeral was however much long later, you know, a few days later. So I get dressed up, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to go to the funeral. Just don't want to go, man, because I know that it's just going to be a problem. And now here's the thing. Okay, so his dad really didn't like me. They had the same name. His dad's name was Mark too. And there was a time where I had called his phone, a house phone. This is back in the 90s, you guys. So we're still calling people on house phones and pagers and shit. So I called his house one day and his dad answered and I'm like, what's up? And his name is Mark. So we just started talking and I started talking business to his dad. Didn't know it was his dad, thought it was him. So his dad had a reason to not like me, and to this day, I just wish, I just apologize, because, man, if somebody got my son killed, man, fucking, I wouldn't like him neither, man. So that's some real shit, man. So, I apologize to his father and his mother. And one day I seen his mother. All right, so, back to so I go to the funeral, man. I go to the funeral. And, I get to the front, like where you walk in. And a cop approaches me and he's like, a cop that I'm cool with. He's cool, man. He was like the dog catcher, man. He's like the fucking dog catcher or something, right? So, who just might have just turned into a cop. They send him to me. And he's like, hey, Nick, I'm sorry, man, but the family don't want you in there. You can't go. And I'm like, damn, like, I already expected some shit, but I don't know if I expected that. I gotta say, I think that surprised me, even though I knew I didn't want to go. But how do I not go? It was a fucked up situation. I didn't want to go. I knew I wasn't wanted there. You know what I'm saying? So, racial shit. It was really racial shit, to be honest with you guys. You know what I'm saying? You know, they could, yeah, it was racial. It was racial, and it was drug shit. There was you know, so, but I feel like I know that it was racial too. You know what I'm saying? So